What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledParents. This story's called Entitled Mom Thinks It's Okay for Her Son to Break the Law. Okay, so I waited to post this because of how things were. Unfortunately, my SO and I broke up last night, so I don't feel badly about writing this. Here's the cast. Boyfriend, entitled mother, mom, me. Okay, so this is gonna seem really bizarre, and I can't believe this is a real thing that happened, but yeah, some backstory. My ex-boyfriend was hurt a lot in past relationships, cheated on by every girl, so he has a lot of trust problems. I'm fairly independent and he's needy and clingy. We've constantly had problems with his codependency, but we both really liked each other despite the problems. I've mentioned several times he should go see a counselor to talk about insecurities he doesn't want to tell me. He hates all my male friends, but doesn't care about my female friends. I'm bi. I'm not close with his family despite dating him for 9 months. His family is also kind of toxic and uncomfortable to be around. The story. I had been hearing strange noises at my house one night, and since I am really anxious, I kept mentioning it to my boyfriend, and he asked multiple times if he wanted me to walk over and check out. Lives only a few blocks away. I kept telling him no, but I was freaked out. Ended up calling him, and through my window, I could hear him talking. He wasn't in my backyard, but he was standing by my gate looking around for me. At the time, I was slightly upset, but more relieved. It helped soothe my anxiety that no one was there. The next day, I was getting ready for bed. It's about 1:30 a.m. and I was just settling down when I hear someone sniff and the sound of movement in the backyard side alley by our house. I froze, terrified and in tears, and called him instantly to tell him someone was at my house, and I could once again hear him through my window. This time, he was in my backyard by my window to check up on me. I was mortified and told him that was a complete breach of privacy and unacceptable. I told him I didn't want to see him for a bit, and we would discuss this in depth after I calmed down. The next day, I hadn't told my family about it when I am awoken from a call from my mother. She tells me that they, my brother and her, had just left the house and saw a boyfriend at the park across the street from my house, and he tried to duck and hide from them, and she saw him when he peeked to see if they were gone. After they came home, my brother explained he had seen him walking away from our house when he walked out, and my mother had seen him at the park once they drove by a few minutes later. This creeped my mother out, and she informed me of that. I explained what happened, and she said it's my choice what I do from here, but she wants to put a lock on the gate because it made her uncomfortable. Acceptable. Called boyfriend right after they called to chew him out. He claims he was at the park drinking coffee, enjoying the morning. Neither of them saw a coffee cup, but I chose to let it go and tell him not to come near my house and to go to the park across the street and not come down to mine. Few days later, things have calmed down a little. Haven't deep talked about stuff yet, but I missed him, so since I woke up early for work and then was sent home before clocking in, it was dead. I invited him over to start The Mandalorian with my brother and I. We watched 2 episodes, and one point he tried to cuddle up to me, and I gently pulled away since I was still upset but wanted to be around him. He goes silent because he's upset, and I get upset that he can't be an adult about giving me space. Had to go home, got into bed since I decided to take a nap, was text arguing with him since he was throwing a fit about how I brushed him off. I ended up falling asleep without saying anything to him. Woke up from my nap to my dog barking non-stop to the doorbell. Few minutes later, my brother comes in to tell me that our neighbors called the police since they saw someone in our backyard looking through our windows. I wonder who it could be. Immediately call him. This is the conversation. Were you in my backyard? No, I'm home right now. Boyfriend. Were you in my backyard a bit ago? Raising my voice cause I just woke up and I'm upset that he did it again. No, I'm at home right now. Sound of wrestling and arguing. Who is this? It is me. From here on out is roughly what was said. Honestly, I didn't memorize it. This happened before Christmas and I was so upset in the moment that mostly I just got yelled at and barely comprehended it. Good, I've been wanting to talk to you and your mother. Note, her son and I are both 20, freaking adults. Why do you need to talk to my mother? Also, you can hear boyfriend begging for her to stop. Have you been telling my son that he needs to go see a psychiatrist? I start to respond. Don't talk, I'm talking right now. My son is not crazy and he does not need to see a psychologist. She kept swapping back and forth from psychologist and psychiatrist. And you need to stop telling him that he needs to see one. I think you need to see one because you have a boy who loves you so much as to go out several times a night to check up on you. Do you know what your son has been doing? I know that you have a boy who loves you so much as to go into your backyard and see what you're doing. I know that if I was him, I wouldn't have stayed with you after catching you in the car with another boy. I was talking to a concerned friend about boyfriend's behavior and how it made him and my other friends uncomfortable. Boyfriend decided to walk over and check on me when I didn't respond to his text. Phone was in my purse and I didn't think we would talk for an hour. If I was boyfriend, when I found you, I would have pulled you out of the car, beaten you, and dumped you. My son loves you so much and you just treat him like crap. And his dad and I have talked about it and we hate the way you treat him. And if he needs to see a psychiatrist, it's because of you. I never told him to see a psychiatrist or psychologist. I told him to see a therapist or a counselor to talk to. I think you need to talk to a therapist. I think therapy is healthy. Then why don't you go and stop telling my son to go? I have got— Oh yeah? And what's wrong with you? Emotional abuse and manipulation from my father? Wish I hadn't told her, but I was being really impulsive about what I was saying because I was upset and can't function when people start yelling at me. I want to talk to your mother. Come over here with her. My mother is 70. I'm not having my mother walk over. She's 70? I literally drove this woman to McDonald's while she was drunk and we talked about this, and she went on and on about how God has a plan and this was his plan for me and stuff. Yes, I've told you this before. It doesn't matter. My mother comes over all the time. She can handle it. I'm not having my mother come over to be yelled at by you. Then I'll come over there. Supposed to be a threat. Okay, I'll go tell her you're on your way. Give her time to get dressed. She's laying down. See you soon. She hangs up. Now that I'm off the phone, all the anxiety hits me. There is going to be a confrontation here soon. I'm crying and shaking a bit. I know, baby alert. And I go in and tell my mother to get ready. She gets up, gets dressed while comforting me. She texts boyfriend to tell him that it is ridiculous to have his mother come over and that she doesn't want to deal with this. He calls her, except it isn't boyfriend, it's entitled mother. We both know it. I told her it's her decision if she answers. She stares at the phone for a few rings before answering. I only heard her side in the muffled voice of entitled mother. OP, it doesn't matter what I think. They are both adults and I have no right to put my input in, and neither do you. Entitled mother tries to say more. My mom hangs up. Later, she told me that I'm young and allowed to make my own decisions and my mistakes, so whatever I do, it's up to me. She never shows up, and guess boyfriend talked her down. For anyone interested, we had a sit-down talk later where we both outlined everything that was gonna change from our relationship going forward. And I told him if he was ever in my backyard again, we would instantly be over. And then last night, not even a week, he was in my backyard again. So that's over. Yeah, that's insanely creepy, and you should have broken up with him maybe the second time he did that. This story's called Entitled Elder Hits Me Because I Have a Mental Disease, then tries to get me to leave the bus, and she freaking succeeds. Hello, I did a post on this subreddit a few days ago and didn't expect to get so many upvotes, comments, support, and even 2 silvers and a coin gift. I would like to thank everyone for that. Also, thanks for all the tips. I got power bank, info card, and some other stuff. I have an info card now and ordered a power bank online. I got some requests to share some more stories. I get a lot of encounters with entitled people. Most of them are people calling me names. So if I'll share more, I'll only share the more special stories. As I'm lazy, I'm just gonna copy-paste the backstory. I would advise reading my other story first. And note, this happened before the story in my other post. Some backstory. When I was 5 years old, I tripped over and fell off the stairs and damaged my brain. I got the condition called PBA, or pseudobulbar effect. And it's a disease that makes a person get uncontrollable bursts of laughter and or crying. Most of the time when you feel a sudden change in emotion, but it can just also happen at random. I mostly have crying outbursts. The condition wasn't really known until the 2019 Joker movie released, where Arthur Fleck has the condition. Most people think I'm faking it because I want to look cool. Around the time this story happened, 2017 I think, I always took the bus. Thanks to this incident, I started taking the train. I now listen to music with my headphones to calm me down, so I have a lower chance of getting an outburst, but when this happened, I didn't listen to music yet. My way to calm down was literally trying to focus on something that corresponds with the mood I had, so I won't get a change in emotion and get an outburst. That was a pretty horrible strategy, but that was the best I could come up with then. Anyway, enough backstory. That was way longer than I thought. Let's start with the real story. This is from what I remember. Quick note, I'm just gonna call the entitled elder an entitled grandma. If she wasn't a grandma, I don't give a crap about it. I'm waiting at the bus stop till my bus arrives. My bus arrives and I get in. It's jam-packed. The bus arrives every hour, so even though I have a 45-minute ride, I decided to just stand in the bus instead of waiting for the next one. Bus arrives at the next stop and someone leaves the bus. I see my chance and claim the spot, right next to our beloved entitled grandmother.
That seat is taken.
Who's gonna sit here then?
He's waiting at the next stop.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but I'm allowed to sit anywhere I want in the bus. If another spot opens up, I'll leave.
Fine.
Next stop, nobody enters or leaves the bus. The following two, neither. Me getting angry at this lady because she didn't want me to sit on the spot next to her because reasons I don't know, I guess. So I decided to tell her, "Strange, your friend didn't come."
Shut up.
I laugh on the inside. Few stops later, people finally start leaving the bus. And at the most popular stop, the shopping mall, the bus became really empty. There was me, entitled grandmother, and 3 others.
You said you would leave when a new spot opens up.
Oh, yeah, if you want me to leave.
Yes, go now.
I really wanted to start a fight with her. She was so annoying. Just her voice alone. Like the old version of the kid that reminds the teacher to give homework. Fine, jeez.
What did you just call me?
What?
What did you just call me?
Note, I am sitting next to her at the moment. The hell are you talking about?
I heard you. What's a jeef?
Yes, she said jeef.
Tell me now.
I said geez, it's a form of expression. I was getting really annoyed and thought this could go wrong, so I just wanted to leave. Everyone on the bus was ignoring us, I guess. Nobody gave a crap. Honestly, I wouldn't either. Haha, oh no, my butt fell off.
Nobody says that.
Just please stop. I'm leaving the seat. What more do you want?
Don't talk to me like that, idiot.
You just called me an idiot. The hell are you on about? You know what? Let's just let it go. I have a mental disease and this is not a good situation for me.
I said don't talk to me like that.
And then she freaking hits me. I became so angry, I got an outburst. But worst freaking timing ever. Instead of crying, I got laughing.
What are you doing, Dumbo?
I don't know anymore if she said Dumbo here, but I'll never forget she actually called me Dumbo. Who the frick actually says Dumbo? It wasn't the worst outburst I've had, so I was able to talk a bit. It's my mental
Yes, I see you are mentally insane.
Not even close to what I said. I think she's pretty deaf. She also didn't hear G's, so yeah. Bus driver pulled over and stopped at the side of the road. Everyone was looking at me and I couldn't give a single crap. "What are you doing, kid?" I turned to him and laughed straight in his face. I think he didn't like that.
Get him off the bus. He's causing trouble.
"If you don't stop this, you'll be kicked off the bus." I'm basically panicking because I still need to sit like 15 minutes on the bus, and walking that distance would take forever. So I grab my phone and open notes, and I write, "I have a mental disease," and show it to the driver. Because the driver is a dumb frick, he literally says this, "I don't need your phone." What the f is wrong with him? I point at the message I wrote on the screen. "I don't need your phone, but you need to leave the bus or I'll call the cops." Me, the idiot that I was then, decided to leave the bus instead of calling my parents to explain it to him, or the cops if he had called them. Entitled Grandma gives me a big smirk. The bus drives away. I called my parents and sent them over text my location. After 20 minutes of waiting on the side of the road, finally my mom arrived and I got taken home. The main reason I take the train now, not because it's faster, not because it's bigger, so less crowded. No, it's because I don't want dumb fricks like these behind the steering wheel, and in the trains in my country, there is always a police officer on board to prevent bad stuff from happening. Last post, I asked for turtles and y'all gave me so many I could take over the world now. So I want to do something different. Say, never take the bus or cancel sign bus if you made it this far. I shared this story because of demand for more stories, but I also did it so people start realizing mental disease exists, or didn't get a really bad accident in their life. So spread the word, I guess. That's a real shame, man. However, I will say this, I guarantee you there are a ton of abnormally hot, freaky goth girls that would totally dig your whole, Joker condition there. We as a society, we really need to be more aware of, different mental illnesses and their effects and all that stuff, so as to avoid, wrong assumptions and, really get rid of the negative connotation that comes with it. I'm curious, do any of you guys in the comments, have any unique conditions that you'd like to share? Normally, I wouldn't ask anyone to share stuff like that online, but I feel like this community is decent when it comes to being accepting of others, which is good. So let's take the opportunity to learn from this story, and we can learn from each other, so maybe we can avoid horrible situations like these from happening in the future, or at least as much as it would had you not shared. Because I don't know about you guys, but I would be uncomfortable and scared in that situation too, if I was around someone laughing like that on public transportation, because I don't really have that much knowledge when it comes to, the various mental illnesses that exist in the world. Ignorance breeds fear. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.